On February 24, 1978, 5 young men drove a 1969 Mercury Montego into a blinding blizzard in the Sierra Nevada mountains. The group, Ted Wire, Jack Madruga, Bill Sterling, Jack Hewitt, and Gary Mathias, were all residents of Yuba County. They were heading home after a college basketball game, an ordinary end to a Friday night. Their route back was a 50-mile drive down a flat highway straight home. Instead, they drove miles in the opposite direction, climbing thousands of feet into the treacherous heights of the Plumas National Forest. There were no road closures or weather-related detours reported that night. Leaving the highway to climb into a lethal winter storm remains the first unexplained gap. When police eventually found the Mercury Montego days later, it was resting in a high-elevation snowdrift. Investigators initially assumed mechanical failure, but the car was in working order. The engine started immediately when they turned the key, and the tank was still a quarter full of gasoline. The undamaged vehicle and its functional heater provided a secure shelter capable of protecting all 5 men. Despite this, the men took the keys, stepped out of the cabin, and walked into a 0-degree blizzard, wearing only lightweight jackets. Choosing to leave a functional, heated vehicle to face a mountain storm contradicts the most basic survival behaviors. It raises the question of what specific threat could have compelled them to leave. Outside, the men faced a total whiteout. The deep snow made every step a physical struggle. Navigating through 20 miles of this terrain in the dark required immense physical endurance. It was a grueling hike that would have exhausted even well-equipped climbers. Their destination was a small, remote U.S. Forest Service trailer, hidden in the wilderness far from any main road. Reaching this trailer should have secured their safety. Instead, the scene found inside revealed a prolonged struggle that defies easy explanation. Inside the trailer, authorities discovered the body of Ted Wire. He was lying on a bed wrapped in 8 heavy blankets, having frozen to death. Forensic evidence showed that Ted didn't die on the night of the storm. He had survived inside that trailer for up to 11 weeks, losing 80 pounds while his body slowly wasted away. Stacked throughout the trailer was a massive supply of military-grade sea rations and freeze-dried food, enough to sustain the group for a year. Outside, a storage locker sat full of propane for the heating system. Inside, matches were left untouched on a table. Not one can was opened. The heat was never turned on. The matches were never struck. The group spent weeks starving in the cold while surrounded by the exact resources they needed to live. As the winter snow melted, the remains of 3 other men were found nearby, victims of exposure. The 5th man, Gary Mathias, remained missing. Gary was a veteran with Army training, a detail that makes his final actions even more confusing. Searchers found Gary's shoes left behind inside the trailer. Gary had walked out into the freezing wilderness completely barefoot. No trace of him has ever been found. For a trained soldier to abandon his footwear in a blizzard contradicts every rule of survival. It moves the case beyond a sequence of tragic accidents into a series of behaviors that no investigation has been able to reconcile. The investigation reached a total stalemate. There were no signs of a struggle, no evidence of physical trauma on the bodies, and no clues suggesting foul play. No rational theory, natural or criminal, explains why 5 men would abandon their car and systematically ignore every means of survival available to them. The Yuba County 5 mystery remains a haunting psychological puzzle, a story of 5 men who, for reasons we will never know, simply stopped trying to stay alive.